Strong subject now because this, well, caught some people by surprise. Sanctuary City officials pushing back on the Trump administration's latest crackdown effort. Now the Department of Justice is threatening to subpoena state and local officials who fail to provide evidence their jurisdictions have been cooperating with federal immigration authorities. This move is prompting some city mayors to skip a White House meeting with the president yesterday. The president went after their decision.
My administration is committed to protecting innocent Americans, and the mayors who choose to boycott this event have put the needs of criminal illegal immigrants over law-abiding Americans.
Whew. And then those mayors said this.
On the very day where, in principle, they were telling us they wanted to have an honest dialogue. This proves there was no intention to have an honest dialogue. I came down here ready to have a serious meeting, and what I got was a publicity stunt from the Trump administration.
I can't ever recall a situation where someone who professes to want to work with other people punches them in the face first and says, now I'd like to talk to you.
And the idea that the President of the United States and the Justice Department would arrest any one of us for believing in our ideals and carrying out the law of our city is wrong. Fundamentally wrong.
Okay, let's just break this down. We're talking about places inside of America that harbor illegals. Go.
Yes, it's President Trump wanting to work with these local municipalities because he cares about our nation's rule of law. He wants to strengthen our immigration policy. And the American public wants to see a more effective, consistent immigration policy and wants to work together. Now, these local mayors, they may be part of the resistance. They may be protesting the president. They may want him to fail. They may have been part of the group while the president's hand was on the Bible, calling for his impeachment. But go to the meeting. Let's, talk it out.
That's my beef. Why not just show up? I mean, I just think, it is amazing to me that a city can ignore federal law. I mean, that just the very basic principle at the bottom of this is amazing to me. I mean, I've said it before, but I will never forget the time I was in the back of a New York City cab and you had Mayor de Blasio used our tax dollars to put together a PSA where it's saying on the television he's touting how he is going to ignore federal law, not cooperate with ICE, and not turn over criminals that he has in his possession who are already in custody and are wanted on other warrants. And he thinks that this is something to brag about and use tax dollars to make an ad about. And it's just, you can't ignore federal law. I know I can't.
I mean, what's interesting about this, Congressman, is this actually is not the furthering of turn over who you have. This is, can you just let us know that you're complying with the law?
Yeah, and if you look at the numbers that have come out of ICE since President Trump has come in, almost 100% of the people who end up getting deported are people who either they were removed from the country and then they came back, or they committed another serious offense. These aren't all the people who are getting removed. It's not that they are getting a traffic ticket right in front of the studio here and then they get deported. You need to work together because it's almost 100%. And ICE has made a point of it in their press releases, talking about sex crimes, MS-13, human trafficking, drug trafficking. These are serious issues that the federal government wants to tackle. And it turns out that you do have crimes getting committed by people who aren't here legally.